Yo, what's up guys? Here from Shanghai. Finally back in Shanghai, but also did want to make one video though. And that one video is mainly about the cell selection thing. And to be honest, I've only been doing R5 so far, and I'm only going to be making this video based on R5. I do know, however, that probably for the runes it's more specific, it's more interesting. But I also do think that that can wait a little bit because I think after the Fever event, probably after everyone kind of has to do raids because at the Fever event we got so many good runes. Now you actually now is the good time to get all of those horns in, which and claws in, which I'll talk about in a second as well. But then talking about okay, we have this cell selection thing. And how it works is the following. Like the concept is the same for all of them. You have the selection of what you would like to sell in here. So normally I did pretty much all of these and then I excluded this one, but in this case I also do want to have heroes in there. And then with the sell exclusion settings, you are excluding the things that you do not want to sell. So what does that mean? So for example, I say I sell everything here. Let's say I just click on like legendary on both gems and grinds. That means you would sell everything but the things that you make filters for in this one. And that works the same for runes, that makes it works the same for artifacts. However, this is a little bit more like I haven't looked at this too much with like the numbers and that kind of stuff, like how it would work. I think it's kind of straightforward the moment you know how it works. But since I think everyone is focusing towards R5 right now, I'm first gonna make this video of like a first glance at it in R5, and then later at some point when I'm back in the Netherlands, I'll make like a proper video of like, okay, these are my settings that you can probably copy or like to tune some numbers and then work it that way. But this is something that you might already can copy if you're going into R5 right away. So what I did for this is I put I haven't looked at the gems specifically yet. I might want to select this one in gems as well, but since I'm mainly doing R5, I'm looking at the grindstones. So anything hero, magic, normal, we don't care about. Legend, of course, you want to. I would personally check all legends. I do have, however, for all of the properties of HP, attack, and defense or like the flats, I exclude those. I think in the past oh wait, if I check the properties on those, I also exclude the resistance, accuracy, crit rate, crit damage because those I only wanted on legendaries. So the moment that I saw a legendary, I always wanted to go for like a double check, like oh, is this actually something that I need? Which you don't have to do with this exclusion stuff right now. So let's go into the exclusion. So what is the first few settings that I did do? So one of the first few settings is I want to keep all of the runes on hero of the stats of speed, HP, defense, and attack, except determination, enhance, accuracy, tolerance, and seal. Because fuck those runes. Like no one's gonna use that shit. I don't need heroes on those. If I get legendaries on those, I'm good. But that is where you select everything except those, because then all of these will be excluded when you get heroes on speed, HP, defense, and attack. If I want to keep like flat attack on like a specific thing, for example, let's say rage, then you would have to make a different one because this would include all of those. Another one that I made so far is intangible. Intangible, I want to keep everything. So all of the intangible grinds that I have, because I don't have that many intangible grinds in the first place. So even blue intangible grinds might be good at the start. So I made another session or another filter for saying like, okay, the intangible runes I do want to, or the intangible grinds and gems, because in this case I also selected gems over here, I do want to keep. Third one that I made so far is this one. This is where I would say, like, normally I don't keep the crit rate and crit damage and the resistance and accuracy, but because I was getting like the legendaries on those and I was mainly using those anyways. But since you're not going to be farming, especially the one for the rage and the blade and the fatal, because they're in different dungeons, I think, than the other ones. I could maybe add in Vio on this as well, but I don't really need like the crit damage things. So I mainly added in like the bruiser sets where I think I most likely feel like I need some of those crit rate, crit damage gems in there. And then I excluded those. So were I to say like, okay, I also want to do that, for example, the grindstones, and I want to go for all of the damage sets. Let's say that these are my damage sets that I want to exclude. And I want to exclude all of them on having, oh wait, I want to exclude them the moment that they're hero or legendary on flat attack. So that could be something that you would say like, okay, I don't really need flat attack on everything. Like I don't need flat attack on endure or energy or guard or anything like that, but I do need it on like the high damage sets. Then I would even keep like a hero. You could also say that you want to have a certain quantity. I am not 100% sure how this works yet, but I would assume that if you put it to the quantity of 5, that the moment that you have 5 of them, it starts selling them afterwards. So that's maybe something that you could do for example, let's say that we go for all of these dungeons. Let's say you make something like this. You make another one, and you go for grindstones, and we go for grindstones for all of them except for those. And we want to go for we want to exclude the wheel as well, and we want to exclude this. I think that's how it should work. Let's say we exclude like the good sets. Would that make sense? I'm not too sure about this one, in all honesty, if what I'm trying to do makes sense. Let me know in the comments, like I'm still trying to figure this out as well. No, actually, I think it's the other way around. So we would have to say these, and what's the other good set? I'm missing one of the good sets. No, those are the 4 good sets. So all of those I want to keep um, these 4, but it's this and down. So I'm not sure how the quantity thing works. So this is still something that I would have to figure out myself as well. But let's say that for the others, I only want to keep like max to like 4 or something, and the good sets I want to keep like all of them. That is something that you could look at. Currently, I need that many grinds that I don't really need to do this. But if you're kind of maxing out your grinds and your gems like 2500s from time to time, then you could look into like, okay, how does this work with the quantity thing? And to be honest, that's a part that I haven't looked into much myself as well yet. But that is something that you could definitely look into and then make your filters based on that. So this would also work the same thing for what's it called, for runes, for artifacts, and that kind of stuff. And of course we have to save that. I would first, when you're doing this, always double check like, okay, is what I am selecting also what I thought would be selected? It would be nice, and I also gave that as feedback, that you can kind of go into like a debug mode and then see like, okay, why are certain runes excluded or included? I still have the habit of checking the legendaries by myself if I want to keep them. Maybe I should just make like a filter that I always keep all legendaries, because the legendaries are good enough to pretty much always keep. So I'm not entirely sure like why those are selected for sell because of those. So all of those properties will always end up in here. I could remove that and then just remove those properties from the other thing rather than removing the properties in here. So you can kind of do this on like 2 positions right now. And therefore I would say probably remove those, because now you can make it more specific. Let's say if so we want to have those. Let's say that we only want to get the guard or the despair one and not the this one. Let's see how that would work out if we make a filter for that. And I'm probably gonna mess this up because, to be honest, I'm still pretty new to this as well. So let's say we have the flat attack for, well, this is flat attack for legendary, and that's for all of them. So let's say I say flat attack for despair right now. What would it actually do? Would it include it, exclude it? Doesn't change anything. Interesting. Maybe that's because I didn't exclude all legendaries. I think you first have to exclude them and then include them or something like that. Oh wait, maybe actually with the previous setting that I had, probably did make more sense. So we go for those are the normal sales. So those are the ones that we set up as sale, right? But since we added in the other one for the exclusion for selling, we added the ones in for flat attack. And then if we go, wait, if I go despair revenge right now, maybe if I exclude that, would that be the one? Yes, no, maybe. I still have to figure out a bunch for this as well. So to be honest, like I'm not a full master on this yet whatsoever. Wait, I didn't save it. Okay, so like sell, no, it still goes for, oh, the despair is also, that's where you're chasing ghosts at some point. Like that's definitely something that's gonna happen. Like, why is it not selling that thing? Like, I did it for something else. Okay. So if we go for a revenge right now on flat attack, let's actually just go for all of the flats in there for legendary. No, actually, do I want to make like a specific one for? I don't know. Let's just go for this, and then it's excluding this one because It was revenge in there. Okay, makes sense. Yes, man. That's the moment that you can set up all of this and like just never look at it again. So if we add the despair one right now, it will also add in the flats for despair. Yep. So now it's not gonna select those as well. So that's kind of how it works. So it's a little bit of like trying around, figuring out. It's yeah. I would say with a slightly like background of programming, it maybe helps a little bit for me to figure this out. But yeah, that's just kind of how you want to make your filters. And the thing is, it would be very easy to say like, okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna use exactly the filters that you're using. Could be a thing, but I have different rune requirements for keeping and selling stuff than other people have, and it's just depending on like, you cannot just say like, oh, I'm gonna copy the one from someone else's other mid game. Yeah, that doesn't really count. Like you kind of have to fine tune your own, and get your way towards that with like some guidance of like videos like those. So yep, let's actually go for selling of those right now, and I didn't hit the replay on the times 30. Also, very nice that they removed the thing like, oh, you don't have enough energy for times 30. Like, we don't care. None of us like that button. Oh, and by the way, I'm on the China version of EU server, so my prices are in Chinese yuan. The background for some reason is kind of messed up. Oh, and I saw one thing. I was just straight up laughing. Like, we have like these two are kind of off key, but look at this. Like, China has this policy where they don't want to do skulls or something. I I don't even remember how this guy normally looks, but he does not look like that. That is 100%. He does not look like that. It's the same thing if you go. You have a few of those units that just look differently. Like I've showed it in the past, where like these they look straight up differently. That kind of stuff. They don't want to do skulls and they don't want to do like two naked ladies and that kind of stuff. But yeah. Then the next thing that I want to talk about is the horns and the claws. So what would you do with those? Because now you can craft both the gems and the grinds with it. To be honest, I think that it's way higher value to get gems on hero level than it's to get grinds on hero level. And the reason for that is let's say we're talking about a legendary HP percent that is 13% on max. This is 11% on max. However, getting those feels a lot more difficult on the 11 than getting a thing like this on the 7. Like I think you know what I'm getting at, right? So I feel like that these have a lot higher value on hero. So I would definitely go for, if I want to go for like Vio, I'm not even sure. Like probably I have to do some other stuff than Vio, but oh, they made that a lot faster as well. Self-selected. Okay, then we probably have to start doing some exclusion stuff here as well. But this is definitely like all of those flat HPs I don't really need. HP percentage, those are the ones I need. So yeah, I definitely have to make a currently, this is a new thing where none of them are actually, well, in this, the easiest way for me is I don't need any of those. That's most likely what is the case for me. Let's give it another 10, but actually I do know that I need more stuff on Swift and Despair because that's what I've been farming mainly. So let's give that another whirl. Let's see how that works out. Also, you're not gonna get any legendaries with this, as far as I knew. So, okay, well, that's a good amount of like getting these in is pretty hard. Whereas if you get like a 4 to 7 on HP percent, you're like, yeah, just another one, right? So definitely for gems, 100% I would go into these. However, then you have the horns, and the horns is like, okay, do you go for legendary gems as well, or do you go for legendary grinds? In that case, to be honest, I'm going legendary grinds. And that is simply because getting the legendary grind feels way more rewarding. Like, I can go 2 up on max on a gem, but I can technically go 3 up a max on a grind. So I would say also that the way where you would say like, okay, a maxed out hero grind or a maxed out hero gem plus a maxed out legendary grind is probably the chillest way to max out the thing to like 21 rather than the other way around where you're trying where yeah you get a 20 from that with potential for a later one as well. But this one it's kind of like if you need a very specific one you could go for the gems, but in general I probably go for these and then just try to find my way into getting whatever I need. Like I do know that I need a lot of violent ones in there, and I think you have to make a cell selection. Yes, yes, too bad. Yes, Yes, okay, that's that is the kind of shit you want, right? That is absolutely these things are still pretty rare, but that is the kind of shit you want. So yeah, guys, that's a first look at the cell selection thingy and a little bit of information about the gems and grinds. I definitely will be making a future full-on guide on like how it works and then like more of a script version of like me actually explaining things and like looking at examples and then also for runes and artifacts. That one is not there yet, but that is one is gonna come there when I go back to the Netherlands, which is gonna be in December. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hope to see you in the next one. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and as always, see you in the next one.